wants these cheeseburgers? You want these cheeseburgers? Yo, man, I got these cheeseburgers. I got this movie, too. I got this fucking movie. You want that movie? I got these cheeseburgers in that movie.
Man, I got these cheeseburgers, man.
I don't want any cheeseburgers.
I suck your dick.
Ew. Get out of here, man.
And a 3, and a 1, and a 2. Hey, welcome to Rage Ranting. You know me. You know this little shit.
What's up?
What's going on? Change of plans. Said we were going to review 300 Rise of an Empire, but I got this wonderful movie over the weekend, and we decided to review this one first. Newer movies first, and then we'll continue on.
We are reviewing The Crow. It is like the 50th movie, 10 sequels, there's like 30 remakes, and this is the newest one.
Anyway, shit, drawing a blank. Alright, anyway, we're going to be reviewing The Crow. For one thing, I got something for you guys. What is that?
Oh, is that?
Subscribe button.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
That's awesome.
Nice, right? How did you enjoy the movie?
I don't even know where to start. It wasn't satisfying at all. It's like taking a bite into a sandwich,
Yeah,
and there's just lettuce.
just lettuce.
There's no mayo, no condiments, burger, or anything. It's just there's some lettuce and maybe a pickle, but not like the good pickle.
Just one pickle? What kind of pickle?
It's like maybe
Dill?
not even dill. Dill would be a delicacy. This kind of pickle, it's just like it's too sweet. It's like sour, maybe soggy too. You know, it's just like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Some moldy lettuce.
Yeah, that's about what fits this movie. Acting like a crackhead. Just picture the Crow as a drug addict. That's him in a nutshell in this movie. You didn't enjoy anything about it?
I didn't mind his design. Instead of just remaking the original, they tried to put some sort of twist on it.
I can appreciate that, you know?
Yeah.
Now, before we even start talking about that, you're talking to a guy who his favorite fucking superhero film of all time is The Crow. I went in this with an open mind, having very low expectations. I didn't mind the design of The Crow. I was willing to give that design a chance. Overall, the movie was just, oh my god. Didn't even compare it to the other one. I just disappointed me watching the thing entirely.
There was only like two
just like
major...
you do, Chuck, you prick.
There was only two major fight scenes, and the second one was like really anticlimactic in the opera stadium, whatever the hell you call it, at the opera house.
Yeah.
The first one in the car, pretty cool. Well, I don't know if it was the first one. I don't even remember. But the fight scene in the car was cool. He just jumps up and he lands inside the car through the windshield. And then everybody's like...
falls into the car. I didn't even really care for that scene. The only part of that scene I cared for is when he was lying in the street and everybody kept just driving by him. Didn't give a shit whether he lived or died. That's just like today.
That was pretty accurate.
Yeah. There was one fight scene in the movie where I actually got a little bit excited. Spoilers. Hoping you people watched it by now.
Watch the fucking movie.
Yeah. He gets shot that first time in the tub.
And then he wakes up and he's like the Crow finally.
Then we by the way, we have to wait a whole hour, over an hour,
more
to
than
get the actual Crow.
Exactly. More than halfway through the movie, he's not actually the Crow. He's just like, whoa, dude. I have like 4 bullet holes in my chest, and they're just popping out.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård basically plays an introverted drug addict throughout 3/4 of this movie. Like he's the type of kid like I would bully on the street back in the day. You know, that scene with him getting out of the tub, that kind of excited me with the music playing.
Because he finally woke the fuck up. He was like, this is some serious shit. You know, I'm just done.
There was another scene putting the makeup on with the music. I kind of like that, but
and gearing up and shit.
Yeah, the last scene of him fighting, it would have been better with different music, you know? Movie, big disappointment, just like you, Chuck Norris. Oh, by the way, Chuck, figured out your real name. Your real name isn't Chuck, it's Carlos. I looked it up. All right, Carlos, how you feel about that? So we're going on the acting.
The acting.
Yeah.
It was
anything?
It sucked ass.
You didn't find anyone intriguing in this entire movie?
No, Bill Skarsgård, he's a good actor. He's
Yeah.
like a pretty awesome guy. That chick that he was in love with, Shelley,
Oh my god. She didn't bother me.
I
She
don't know
was that
what the
bad.
hell was going on. They're both drug addicts in the movie,
Yeah.
but she must have been zooted on set, unironically doing cocaine. She just looked so dumbfounded the entire time. She was just like,
She's happy to be in a movie. I don't know if she's played in anything else.
just like stroking his fucking six
Yeah.
pack.
Oh yeah, she was like starstruck being around Bill Skarsgård.
Exactly. They had Eric and Shelley. They had no chemistry like whatsoever. They felt like two husks of humans having these fake interactions with each other, and their dialogue was super cringy.
I didn't mind Bill Skarsgård. I'm like, I just felt like he was playing a toned down version of himself.
It just
He
felt
was
like
an introverted drug
Yeah.
addict. By the way, all the characters, just about all the characters in this movie are drug addicts. In what fucking country did this happen in? Felt like it wanted to be in New York, but it wasn't. How'd you feel about
the main
the
villain.
main villain? Yeah,
The main antagonist, he had like less than 5 minutes of screen time. Like, he did his job. Like, I thought it was solid. He was
Yeah.
better than Shelley, that's for sure. Bill Skarsgård, I don't think he was meant to play the kind of character. Either
He had a
was trying
perfect
to,
body to do it. You know
and that exactly, I think that's the problem. I think that's exactly why he was
why they
casted.
were why they cast him?
Because they casted some like hot, super fit dude, and then like, oh, this guy would look great with all these tattoos, you know, and then just slapped
Yeah.
a bunch of shit on him, and then
I was willing to give it a chance. The design didn't look bad at all.
watching the trailer for this movie, I was like, oh god, they're gonna go like Suicide Squad Joker route with this Crow, but they didn't. Thank God, he wasn't like some cringy like
Yeah.
thug lord.
There was a few other characters, but
Just
most of them
barely.
were just there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Shelley's mom?
Like I said, she had like 2 scenes. It's like
I
so
hated
ignored.
that woman
Yeah.
in that movie.
It's just super forgettable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another guy in Purgatory when he dies, like a Akbar, a Pakistani in Bodega. His lines were horrible. He kept replaying the same line from the first Crow over and over and over to a cringe level.
They were trying to be super edgy, and
Yeah.
he didn't seem like the kind of guy that would be in that kind of place. He seemed like some nice, like wholesome,
Yeah.
like uncle,
He
somebody's
did
uncle or
not,
something.
He
yeah.
did not fit whatsoever in that movie.
And even with just 3 main characters, they somehow were still not able to pull off any sort of connection between Eric and Shelley, because he didn't die until like the first third of the movie. That first 30% of the movie
Yeah.
was Eric and Shelley hanging out and shit.
Yeah.
And after that, I still was like, why do they like each other again? Their life sucked, essentially. That's what they bonded over.
All that time, you couldn't get any chemistry in the entire movie.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Wrong casting. Alright, here we are. Moving on to sound and score. But by the way, speaking of chemistry, you know what else doesn't have chemistry?
What?
Me living in my mother-in-law's fucking basement. Can someone please give me some money? Get out of my mother-in-law's basement. I am sick of this place. You like it here. But moving on to sound and score. What'd you think about that?
They chose all like these horrible songs.
Oh, God.
I can only think of like one good song that I was like, oh, this doesn't sound bad. This is alright.
Which one was
When
that?
he was leaving the opera house after the big battle,
Yeah.
and then he had the flowers and he put it on the bridge, there was a song that was playing. It sounded nice. It wasn't
Yeah.
bad. I felt like that fit. They had no original pieces for the movie besides like a subtle main theme that they kind of like sprinkled that you didn't really hear too much. Like when he became the Crow finally after halfway through the movie.
That was a good piece right there.
But they didn't even play the theme loud enough. I was like, I'm puckering my ears up to the screen trying to hear that shit. I'm like, oh, it sounds nice. Let me get more of that shit. When the big event arrives, like the finale of the movie,
What
he
big
kills.
event?
Exactly. There is no big event. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's just like Chuck Norris.
I was-
That motherfucker's not a big event either.
I was waiting for this
You
big.
prick.
I was waiting for this bigger moment where the theme song like gets louder and you can actually hear it, and it's like this impactful moment
Yeah.
between him and like the main antagonist or whatever. Never happened.
No.
Pushed him in the water and he got sucked down under. That was it.
There were a couple songs or like the score excited me a little bit. Like when he rose from the bathtub.
Yeah.
You thought he was going to start kicking ass. That ended up going nowhere. But the music leading up to that got you
Yeah.
hyped up. When he was putting on the makeup, that music got you hyped up. And then it leads into like some ridiculous opera in like one of the final battles. I'm I'm like, this is like totally taking me out of the fight. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting excited about watching this. Him fighting all these nameless, glorified extra bad guys. It's not getting me excited. It's ridiculous. The score, what do you think? Like, you think you'll remember
I'm
it?
gonna forget this shit by tomorrow.
Parts of the score you don't forget are the actual songs.
Yeah.
I don't get how they go from the first Crow having grunge, metal, and all that to Europop. Chuck, you listen to Europop? Prick. You think Chuck listens to Europop
Probably.
in his bathtub,
Probably.
drinking his
His little martini.
yeah. The score, same thing, just like 30 Days a Night. It's there.
But it's not.
You think it's a little better
not.
than that?
30 Days a Night had literally nothing except for
The first
that
one?
song. Yeah. 30 Days of Night had a better score because they didn't have anything. Because they just had that one song at the end that was like, it's whatever. But this one, it threw in a bunch of songs that sounded shit.
Yeah.
That I didn't give a shit about, and that's what made it worse, was because there were songs in it and I didn't like them. Listen, they could have chose such an epic sounding opera piece when he was in that opera house.
You're supposed to be this way. It throws you that way.
I think it did that on purpose. It was supposed to contrast the moment from like this dark and gritty fight scene
like it.
to trying to play like this like kind of funny, not funny, but you know what I mean, like this lighter music. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
But I don't want, like, you get hyped up for this huge fight. I don't want that. That was the big fight of the movie.
And
I don't want it to
wasn't.
be silly. I don't want it to sound funny. I don't care that the funny opera music in the background lines up with the choreography. But if it sounded fucking cool, if the opera music sounded cool, if they had chose a better piece, then I think I'd be a lot happier. Just because music is such a big part of how you feel about a scene.
When you're saying that, I don't like really. I didn't really understand that until watching this movie. Watching this movie made me realize how important music is to a scene. Use one piece of music for a certain scene and they're both totally different. It takes you out of the scene.
In the opera house, like the one that is advertised in the trailers, the one that you look for, the giant fucking fight scene. It was just such a letdown. It was cool, but it didn't feel cool.
The music
like I said,
made
just
it
'cause
feel
of the music.
horrible.
Exactly. I don't understand. They could have did so much better.
That is the score. Is that the score?
That was a score.
What's the score?
What?
What's the score?
What score?
Is it 17-5?
Something like that.
Or is it 0-4? I think this movie is 0-4.
I think it's movie 0 and 0.
No, it's like 1-4. All right, 1-4. Because the first one was good.
Is there 4 movies? Is that it?
There's actually 5. The first one's great. Stop making your dad jokes. All right. Anyway, moving on to cinematography. What's going on with the cinematography, Joe?
They had a camera.
You weren't impressed by any of it?
I feel like they were trying too hard once again, and it felt like that looks cool. But then they proceed to show that same shot like 30 times in the movie. I'm like,
Which
that's,
shot?
like especially in the water when like there's at least 10 times.
Zack Snyder pushing him in the water.
He's not Eric and Shelley are underwater and he's like reaching for her trying to grab her, but she's sinking. They showed that 20 times.
Yeah, those shots are okay.
It was cool the first time, but they showed it every single time, and I feel like they could have got a bit more creative than recycling it, because it was a little bit different every time, to be fair, his facial expressions, because the last time he was underwater he felt more a bit confident, and then he swam back up.
How many
to
times
the point.
did that happen? It happened like 3 or 4.
I have no clue. I think
There were a few shots where I thought were great, like in Purgatory, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When he dies, everything in that is beautiful.
that's like set design.
But I love it. The whole way it's shot.
The place looked cool.
It was. I thought that was beautiful.
When he
the first scene when he's running with a bag where his dead horse.
Yeah.
I thought it looked nice.
Yeah, I think that shot was cool, like literally at the beginning of the movie when it's just like the moving shot next to his feet and then he yeah, that was cool.
When he's walking with the crow, that
down the
idiot
alleyway.
looking walk down that. You people have seen that in the trailers. That you're seeing some of the best shots.
The only good shots are the ones
in
they
the
show
trailer. The only similar thing this movie did with the first Crow, it was just constantly raining, which I loved. I like when rain all the time.
Just give it.
It gives you a little bit of atmosphere, but this movie
didn't really have any.
No, it did not. I actually couldn't stand the atmosphere of this movie. Nothing against foreign countries. I couldn't tell what country this was in.
Somewhere in Europe. It was like the UK or something.
You know what it reminds me of? Like when where they filmed the Blade movies. At least the second one.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that.
It's like this generic city.
A generic European city or something, you know? With, like, Euro pop form of music, that is. It's okay.
But, yeah, like, the cinematography, I feel like they only got certain shots
Yeah.
for advertisement reasons, and then they just kind of forgot about it. The rest of the movie were like, okay, we need a nice shot so we can use that in marketing,
Yeah.
and then called it a
But
day.
yeah, you've seen all the best shots in the trailers.
Yeah, because like you said, the one where he's walking in the alleyway
That's
after
probably
he
the
becomes
best
crow,
one.
That was the money shot, and
Yeah,
then
with the crow flying over.
That was cool.
That shot
That
right
was
there
really cool.
is what got me to want to watch the actual
Yeah.
movie. Oh, I'm gonna watch it anyway, but that shot is what got me to watch the movie, you know? So, how was your pee break?
I didn't go pee.
You didn't? What the hell were you doing?
I don't know. I'm just standing around, I guess.
You people tell him to do his goddamn
I
job.
don't have a job.
Overall thoughts on the movie. What were we just talking about? Overall thoughts on the movie. How do you think?
Oh yeah, the entire movie just didn't make any fucking sense. First of all, why do they care so much about this video that was
Yeah.
supposedly gonna ruin everybody's lives? Just delete the fucking video!
Delete the video. If they had deleted the video right at the beginning, or she had deleted the video right at the beginning, none of this would have ever happened.
Maybe, listen, I'm usually very attuned to watching shit very closely, okay? I never
Yeah.
miss shit in movies and shows. But maybe I blinked. Maybe I missed something in this movie. Maybe I didn't catch something that they said about the video.
Yeah.
But the video that everybody was like freaking out about, that they didn't want to get out, he was like, oh, I should have never recorded that video. We'd never be in this situation. Delete it!
I didn't like any character in this movie at all. I like Bill Skarsgård as much as I could.
He was cool
Everyone
after when Bill Skarsgård became the Crow after half the
He
movie.
was cool for about a minute.
He was cool when he finally got serious.
Yeah. You guys ever have like a light mayo, moldy lettuce, sweet pickle, wheat bread sandwich? That's what this movie is.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill Skarsgård. Shut up! We're filming!
I'll give it a 4.5.
4.5.
I'll give it a 4.5.
For me, I'm gonna rate this. What did I say? 5.5.
5.5. There is no back in the day review because this movie
We
just
just
came out.
watched it.
Yeah. Next movie, 300. What's it called?
Rise of an Empire.
300 Rise of an Empire.
Comic book movie reviews. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
I fucked up that high.
it's fine. We'll leave that in anyway. Just yelling.
What? No.